Hello, this is Encounters with Life. I'm Sean Abigail, your host. Back in episode 3, I discussed how to become a millionaire. And there we saw that it doesn't take some sort of fancy maneuvering, it doesn't take luck, it doesn't take a lottery win to become a millionaire. It takes a plan, a good plan that you execute on faithfully. But one of my viewers asked a question: why did I assume 9%, a 9% return each year on the money? That's a good question. In fact, that is a question that gets debated endlessly. If you start getting interested in personal finance, the question of what rate of return you can expect is a huge one. So I just want to share with you a couple of facts and then show you what I do. So why did I assume a 9% return? Well, let's look at the historical returns on the S&P 500 with dividends reinvested. If we look at what Investopedia has to say, the average annualized return since adopting 500 stocks into the index in 1957 through December 31st, 2023 is 10.26%. Now, the S&P 500 is the Standard & Poor's tracking index of the 500 largest stocks in the United States. It is a good standard index to consider, and it is also a good one, in my humble opinion, to invest in, because that's what I'm doing, and many people do. But when you look at the return since 1957, the economy has changed a lot since then. So maybe 10.26% isn't the perfect number to be using. If you look at SoFi.com, they say looking at the S&P 500 for the years 1993 to mid-2023, the average stock market return for the last 30 years is 9.90%. And then if you look at Business Insider, they say for the 10 years ending August 2024, the S&P 500 has outpaced the historical average a bit, returning an annual average 12.9% with dividends, according to, I'm not sure what the quoting agency is, but anyway. Now I will say this, 12.9, that sounds pretty good. I don't think you're going to get 12.9 over the long run going forward. And so I don't include that in my planning. So why did I assume a 9% return? Well, historical returns are no guarantee of future results. And I have to tell you, be it right up front, I am not a certified financial planner making recommendations. Do your own research, get a financial advisor, and so on. But for planning purposes, 9% does seem reasonable given historical trends. 9% isn't out of the ballpark. If the average return was, if you thought you were going to get 15% every year, this 9% can be a good reset for you, reset on your expectations. Also, from my own very conservative planning, I assume a 9% rate of return. Now, this is for people investing in, say, the S&P 500. Your returns in your country may be different. For example, I have viewers in India, I have viewers in Turkey, and your economies are very different, and you might get a very different rate of return. But now let's talk about what that means practically speaking. And let's think about two brothers, Fred and Ed. They're identical twins. They got the same degree at the same university, got the same marks, went to work for the same company, start on the same day, get the same paycheck, and so on. Fred signs up for retirement savings immediately on the first day he can, and he gets the company match. He puts in $2,400 at the beginning of each year and initially accepts an 8% rate of return. His brother Ed decides, I don't know what I should invest in. I don't want to jump in right away. So he waits a year to figure it all out. For that first year, he misses the company match. And he investigates his options and what he can do until he finds one that pays 10%. At the end of the second year, Fred, who jumped in immediately, has $10,783 saved. At the end of the second year, Ed only has $5,280 saved. He's getting a better rate of interest, but only for 1 year, and he missed out on the company match. What does that mean in the long run? Well, in the long run, Fred is going to have $193,904 more than his brother at age 60. He started right away. For that first year, he accepted he wasn't going to get the greatest rate of return because he wasn't sure where he should invest his money. And then after that 1 year, he made the same 10% rate of return as his brother. Ed, well, he didn't get the high. He is getting the higher rate of return, but he didn't start early enough. Plus, he's missing out on a year of match. So over the long run, you can see this graph, and it shows the difference between an 8% rate of return and a 10% rate of return. And assuming $4,800 investment on January 1st of each year, the 10% rate of return makes $880,000 more. But at the beginning, at the start, your focus should be on getting started. I was talking to some students and they weren't sure how to get started. They were concerned, well, what do I invest in, and so on. You know, the key thing is get started right away. You can dump your money into whatever mutual funds your bank recommends, or if your employer has a program, you can dump your money into there and take a year and figure out where you want to invest long term, where you're going to get the best rate of return. But the key is to start right away. That first year can make a big difference. Anyway, this has just been a little bit of a discussion of why I chose 9% to show in video 3 and why I think that you've got to start right away. I hope that you are going to follow Fred's example and not Ed's example. Thank you very much. Hey, if you found this content interesting, if you think this channel has potential, please like and subscribe. And also, if the content might be helpful to someone, please share it with them. I hope that you'll help the channel to grow. Thank you. Bye-bye.